Hello guys, in this video we will discuss about the carbocation rearrangements. So carbocation, as we know, here I have given an example of a carbocation. Carbocations are basically sp2 hybridized. The central carbon atom is sp2 hybridized and it has a vacant p orbital, which makes it a carbonium ion, not a carbonium ion. And why carbonium? Because it has a sextet electronic configuration in the outermost shell, so that's why it is highly electron deficient in nature, which makes it a very good electrophile. And all these factors make carbocation a highly reactive intermediate, which we will encounter in several organic reactions later. So what is actually carbocation rearrangement? Suppose we have this carbocation. So this is a primary carbocation. It is highly unstable. So if this hydride, or rather if this hydrogen, migrates to the adjacent carbocationic center as a hydride, then we can obtain a new carbocationic species. So after the migration, we can see that it is a secondary carbocation now, so its stability will be higher than the initial one. When a unstable carbocation undergoes a intramolecular rearrangement in order to produce a more stable carbocationic species, then it is called a carbocationic rearrangement or a carbocation rearrangement. Okay, so here a rearrangement of atoms or groups taking place inside this carbocation to produce a new carbocationic species which is more stable than the previous one. So this type of rearrangement is called a carbocation rearrangement. So how many types of carbocationic rearrangements are there? Two main categories of carbocation rearrangements are there. In the first one, there is no change in the carbon skeleton. In our previous example, we just saw that after the carbocation rearrangement, in the new carbocation, there is no change in the carbon skeleton. Initially, the carbon skeleton was like this. After the rearrangement, there is no change in the carbon skeleton. So these type of rearrangements are called the carbocation rearrangements, where the carbon skeleton remains unchanged. Let me show you an example where the carbon skeleton gets changed. Suppose we have this particular carbocation, which is a neopentyl carbocation. So you can see that it is a primary carbocation. So if this carbocation undergoes a intramolecular rearrangement, then a methyl group, one of these three adjacent methyl groups, need to be migrate to this CH2 plus center, which will produce a new carbocationic species. You can see that here the carbon skeleton in the new carbocation is totally changed. This is the new carbocation, and you can see that the tertiary butyl structure is missing here. The carbon skeleton is completely changed. There is one more example of carbocation rearrangement where the carbon skeleton remains unchanged, which is allylic rearrangement. Suppose we have this compound and we want to use it in a solvolysis reaction. So during solvolysis reaction, what will happen? This halide will remove from the system as a leaving group and thereby producing this carbocation. So here this carbocation contains a adjacent vinyl group which can stabilize this carbocation via conjugation or resonance. So we can see that a resonance stabilization is here to stabilize the resulting carbocation from this substrate. Now the solvent molecule will attack both of these carbon center equally. So if the attack takes place in this center, then the corresponding product molecule will be formed, and attack at this position will result in a completely different product molecule. So we can see that due to this rearrangement, which is allylic rearrangement, two new carbocations are existing in the reaction mixture. These two carbocations are remaining in the reaction mixture at the same time, and they are equally capable of reacting with the solvent molecule in order to give two different products. So this type of rearrangement in a allylic cation system, where the double bond of the allylic system is getting repositioned, is called allylic rearrangement. So here also we can see that the main carbon skeleton is remaining unchanged before and after the reaction, or before and after the rearrangement. So allylic rearrangement, and this particular rearrangement is called 1,2 hydride shift. Since hydrogen is migrating as a hydride from the carbon atom 2 to carbon atom 1, so that's why it is called a 1,2 hydride shift. We can also give an example where the carbon skeleton is remaining unchanged. If this substrate is treated with a superacid, what superacid will do, it will protonate this hydroxyl group, and thereby a water molecule will be released as a leaving group, and this carbocation will be formed. So if this carbocation undergoes a rearrangement by shifting a hydride from position 2 to position 1, then this carbocation will be generated. We can see that this carbocation is getting stabilized by the plus R effect of the phenyl group, where in this carbocation the stabilization is only coming from the hyperconjugation effect and the plus I effect of the methyl groups or the alkyl groups. So it is obviously more stable. So it is a example of 1,2 hydride shift. Now let me give another example where the carbon skeleton is getting changed. Suppose we have this neopentyl bromide. In SN1 condition, this bromine will leave from the system as a bromide, and this neopentyl carbocation will be formed. Here also we can see that it is a secondary carbocation. So a 1,2 methyl shift will produce a more stable third degree carbocation. And then the subsequent steps will occur. The nucleophile will attack the carbocation center and the product will form. So our main concern here is the rearrangement steps. Another example where the carbocation rearrangement does not take place is this one, which is rather a abnormal case. If we subject this substrate molecule in a SN1 condition, then after dissociation of the bromide, the newly formed carbocation does not undergo any rearrangement. It gives rise the product without undergoing any types of rearrangement. So why is that? Suppose, obviously it is a neopentyl system. So suppose after a methyl migration, 1,2 methyl migration, we are getting this carbocation. So now we have to compare the stability between two carbocations. Always remember one thing, the rearrangement within the carbocation is taking place due to a driving force. What is the driving force in case of carbocation rearrangement? The driving force is the stability of the new carbocationic species. So if there is no stability in the new after the rearrangement, then the rearrangement will not take place. So here the carbocation is 3rd degree, here the carbocation is 2 degree, but the stability of the 2 degree carbocation is greater than that of this carbocation. Why this is so? Because the presence of phenyl group. It is stabilizing the carbocation via plus R effect. So this is the reason for not occurring of carbocation rearrangement during this SN1 reaction. Another type of neopentyl rearrangement is the rearrangement within hydrocarbons. Suppose we have this molecule. So this is a hydrocarbon molecule. If we treat this molecule with H+, then what will happen? Obviously the H+ will attack the double bond in a Markovnikov fashion. Which will give rise to the carbocation, this carbocation. We can see that it is a secondary carbocation. So obviously there will be a 1,2 methyl shift, which will result in a more stable carbocationic species. So this is another example which is occurring inside a hydrocarbon, unsaturated hydrocarbon. So this is the overall discussion about the carbocationic rearrangement, which is categorized into different categories. One is where there is no change in the carbon skeleton after the rearrangement, and another type is that where the carbon skeleton is getting changed after the rearrangement. The famous example of the carbocation rearrangement is the neopentyl rearrangement, which is also known as Wagner-Meerwein rearrangement. Wagner-Meerwein rearrangement. So this is it. In the next video, I will discuss the reactions, or rather the rearrangements regarding this carbocation rearrangement, which will be the pinacol rearrangement and the Wolf rearrangement. These two rearrangements involve the migration towards a electron deficient carbon atom. So these are related to the carbocation rearrangements. So this will be the topic of my next video. Okay, thank you. See you in the next video.